Hit me.
From Studio A in Arcata, behind the redwood curtain, it's time for...
Succotash.
Succotash Clips, the original comedy soundcast featuring snippets from comedy...
Soundcasts.
And here's your host from up the coast, practically unknown outside of comedy soundcasting, comedy soundcast soundcaster, Tyson Saner.
Saluton and Ahoy-hoy, Soundcast enthusiasts and accidental listeners everywhere. I'm your host, Tyson Saner. It is my real name, and we can talk about nominative determinism another time. Welcome to Succotash, the comedy soundcast. I've got a decent amount of clips for you from all sorts of soundcasting folks from all around the world, or at least on a couple of continents. Looking ahead, we've got clips from Tuesdays with Stories, Dong Chomp, the Buren Family Roadcast, Hannibal Buress, Handsome Rambler, a special clip of Strange Times featuring our esteemed announcer Bill Heywatt, and Prinze and The Wolf. We've also got a single Burst O Durst for you this show, and of course, what would an episode of Succotash be without a classic Hendersons Pants commercial? That question answers itself. Stay tuned to the end for a bonus snippet, won't you? Leading the pack, Tuesdays with Stories. There is what appears to be a Soundcast network, although I believe they still call them podcasts over there, called Stand Up NY Labs. Now, I know that NY stands for New York in this particular case, but I'm going to be reading it as written because writing and reading are visual mediums, and I'd like to make sure that people who are only hearing this information know what to Bing, Google, or DuckDuckGo with the shortest amount of steps possible. The information on the About page for Stand Up NY Labs, which you can click through to from www.standupnylabs.com, explains, Stand Up NY Labs began in January 2013 as an experiment. We wanted to see what would happen if we created a place for the best comedians in the world to produce the original content they wanted to produce, free of charge and without interference, because we vehemently believe that will garner the best material. The result of the experiment have been exciting, and Labs is continually growing and striving to produce more original, creator-driven content. We operate a first-class studio just above legendary comedy club Stand Up NY. Leveraging our network of comedic talent, Labs licenses and sells its content to brands and media companies. Cool. Our first soundcast featured tonight is one of several soundcasts at Stand Up NY Labs, and it is called Tuesdays with Stories. Tuesdays with Stories was another soundcast recommended to me by the Laughable app as I was listening to another soundcast, which I will be clipping later. The show first appeared on iTunes September 3rd of 2013, and the description reads as follows. A fun weekly podcast hosted by NYC comedians Joe List and Mark Normand, who have an endless amount of funny stories. Every week they spin a few hilarious yarns, sometimes with comedian friends. This clip is from episode 238, published March 26th of 2018, titled Snazzy Cock, and features a snippet of a longer conversation about being a comedian and the ebb and flow and type of attention after your Netflix special airs in an era of social media.
Well, it's been exciting, and I can't even, I don't want to get sincere because I might start sobbing on here. I mean, these emails,
I want to hear everything.
The texts.
Last time I talked to you was via text, maybe a GIF, and then the weird phoner, so I haven't had a real moment to chat with you.
Yeah, it's been quite a whirlwind. The wind has been whirling, I would say. But now it's kind of dying down, and you kind of just go, all right, we're back to normal. Now it's like occasional favorite thing. And you always have that, like, last-ditch effort to be like, oh, I forgot to post the YouTube. Here she comes. And then you get about 20 comments there, and you're like, all right, I'm back in business.
Yes. You get showered with love, and it's like, what is that saying, comedy or showbiz is like a roller coaster. It's just ups and downs. You were up, and now you're kind of on the way back.
Yeah, now I'm down. But
that's all part of it, because then you get to be up again.
It's been very exciting, and I mean, so many people have emailed, and everybody should get to experience what I've got to experience the last few days, because it feels like I got to be around after you die. Because when you die, that's when everyone's like, boy, oh boy, he was great.
Oh,
we really loved him. Because most people, like, you get a birthday and you get like a, hey, happy birthday, Dad. Thanks for, teaching me how to wear pants or whatever.
Sure.
But it's light. This has been like everyone I've ever met from high school comics, peers, idols, younger comics, writing really sweet, genuine things. And
it's like Tom Sawyer. He died. Was it Tom Sawyer? Or
George
Huck
Bailey.
Finn? No, he dies, and he gets to see his funeral.
Oh, that's Scrooge McDuck.
No, I think it's a Twain.
Oh, is it a Twain?
It's a Twain. And I always, when I read that book as a kid, I was like, this is genius. I want to have this. But I always worry somebody's going to go up to my casket and do like a fake hand job and then spit in my eye.
But didn't that happen to Scrooge also? Wasn't that Scrooge?
Well,
and then Zach Morris had it happen.
Well, they're all ripping it off. They're biting Twain. He does the whole, Scrooge does the whole past, present, future.
Ah.
But
I
this
never saw it.
They thought the kid died. He didn't die. He faked his death, and then he went to the church and hid up in the rafters and watched all the people go, he was great at this. He sucked my dick. He blew my mom and all that. And the kid goes, oh, wow, I didn't know they cared.
Oh, that's nice. Maybe I'll read it.
It's pretty good.
We went to his house that time.
That's right. Twain, not Finn.
But I didn't read anything.
Yeah. No, me neither. I think we read the brochure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, good. Then he goes, I'm alive. And then they go, oh, we hate you now. So it's a fun twist.
Ah.
Yeah. Good time. That Twain, he was all right.
Oliver Twist. That was Scrooge also, wasn't it? Same guy? Dickens.
What'd you call me?
Dickens.
Ah, yes, Dickens.
I believe it begins and ends.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Dickens wrote Scrooge and A Christmas Carol, and I think he also wrote Oliver Twist, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know if he wrote A Christmas Carol.
Well, he definitely wrote A Christmas Carol.
I know he wrote Twist.
Oh, all right. So then we're good.
Right.
We're 100% on both.
Cinnamon Twist.
Shelby just taking the day off over there. We could use a couple of Googles
well, he's
here.
on Molly.
I didn't even see her. All right, that was a stretch. But anyways, it's been really nice. And I got the Norm Macdonald tweet. Was quite
That.
overwhelming.
That was mind-blowing. Was that provoked?
I mean, I said, hey, could you recommend, could you put out a thing saying I'm on the stand-ups? And he wrote, what should I write? And I was like, you can write this. And I wrote, check out Joe List on season 2 of the stand-ups.
Yeah.
And then I wake up to this. He's
Beautiful.
One of the only good people working in the whole thing. So
amazing.
That
wow.
was really something.
Beautifully written. It was so heartfelt. It was touching.
I think that was a Carlin quote between you, me, and the lamppost.
Oh, well.
But what are you going to do?
I think it was a twist.
And a bit hyperbolic also. I mean, all these people tweeted at him like, what are you talking about? I can name 5 right now. And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Boy, you can't win.
But he's just trying to be nice, I think. But that was special, and it's been unbelievable. One guy said his brother died while he was watching it or something. Like, I felt horrible, but it was really sweet. Woo. And it's just been insane. I feel like George Bailey. It's touching. And so many people are so nice. We have so many people listening. So many Tuesday, so many hashtag Tuesday lunch. I'm gay. And that's amazing. And it feels like we're a family. It's touching. Although I had 2 people hashtag Tuesdays that were quite mean to me.
Well, you got to get a couple bad apples.
Which is strange to listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
But also dislike me.
Yeah. I think people, that's just their go-to. Hey, I'm going to be mean. I'm going to be a dick. I don't know what their thing is, but they feel they're not strong enough to be nice, if that makes sense.
Yeah. One guy wrote, that's the shirt you choose? A pajama top? Seriously, that was bad. Hashtag Tuesday. I'm like, I'm wearing a $200 imported Ted Baker shirt.
Right.
And you're the only person that wrote anything bad about everyone else was like, you look great. Most people just were like, that was a great set.
Yeah.
You can listen to Tuesdays with Stories on iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbay, and Stitcher. You can visit their Patreon page over at www.patreon.com/Tuesdays, and you can tweet at the host. Joe List is on Twitter at Joe List Comedy. Mark Normand is at Mark Norm. That is MarkNorm. And Tuesdays with Stories is at Tuesday Stories. So no with in that. That's just TuesdayStories. And if you are so inclined, you can reach out to Stand Up NY on Twitter at STANDUPNY. And I'd like to add as a footnote, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens was first published in December of 1843, and Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain was published in December of 1884. Nerd! Next up, Ding Dong Chomp. Recently announced on Nooner, the long-running weekly live on Tuesday Soundcast on Kevin Smith's Smodcast Internet Radio, Ding Dong Chomp has spun off, as it were, and is hosted by Marty Yu and Stephen Kruger. Marty Yu is one of the 2 original hosts of Nooner, and Stephen Kruger has been an on-again, off-again co-host of Nooner for the last, 7 years? I'm not sure. I mean, I was there listening to Nooner at the very beginning when the show was hosted by Marty Yu and television producer Dan Etheridge, and when Stephen Kruger began dropping by nearly every week for a good stretch, but sadly my memory fails me. I should probably ask Darren Husted, with whom I do a live Tumblr for the show on Tuesdays. He may have that information. Darren Husted, by the way, has a bunch of podcasts himself, which I will be sure to bring up on future episodes. Where was I? Oh, yes. So Marty Yu and Steven Kruger are foodies, and have created the show Ding Dong Chomp to accommodate their need to talk about food and eating. The first episode debuted on March 11, 2018. Here's a description from their website. Welcome to Ding Dong Chomp, a new and uninvited voice in the world of culinary punditry. We're starting with a podcast where two ding-dongs, Steve Kruger and Marty Yu, ask each other loaded questions about food, cooking, and cuisine. Neither of them is an expert on anything, yet both have an opinion on everything. This clip is from their second episode from March 19th, 2018.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ding Dong Chomp, a show where two schmucks ask questions about food. My name's Marty.
I'm Steve.
And we're schmucky.
We are?
Yeah.
We're schmucky.
Is that a thing?
Not really.
All right.
You're schmucky. I'm not schmucky.
All right.
Let's talk. I'm hungry.
Yeah, okay, so the way the show works is we just each ask each other a question, and then it goes on from there. Today, I'm asking you, what was the first dish you perfected?
That's a great question.
And just to be clear, you're where do you chef at? Which restaurant?
My home.
Oh,
I'm not a professional chef.
But
Full disclosure.
Did
Full
you
disclosure.
go to the Cordon Bleu or did you go to the CIA?
I went to the third one. The Denny's training program in Scranton.
The Scranton one.
Yeah, it was a long weekend.
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield, I couldn't get in. I went to In-N-Out University off the 605 in city of Torrance, I believe. I'm not a trained chef, but I have mastered one dish.
Okay. And how did you... Okay, first tell me what it is.
You want to know the dish? You want to know how I mastered it?
I want to know the dish.
Gumbo.
Gumbo.
Yes.
And when did you master it?
Imagine me at like 7. And I go over a neighbor's house who were some people. I grew up in Massachusetts, but they were Louisiana transplants, and they cooked a native dish called gumbo. And I remember eating it and thinking it was the most disgusting, vile. It had like boogers in it.
And you said, like, I'm going to make this right, and you just like made it.
And I went home and made it, and it was better than theirs. And I've
perfecto.
That was it. It had okra, which felt like it had mucus oozing out of its holes, and I didn't like the consistency. I didn't like the flavors. I just thought it was disgusting. Okay. So my brain locked in the word gumbo. Avoid it at all costs. And years later, I was in college. It was in Florida, and I was hanging out at a guy's house, and a truck, like an 18-wheeler, pulled up. And
where in Florida?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, right. That's the birthplace of gumbo. Go on.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll get to my New Orleans. I never cooked at New Orleans. So it was a Zatarain's truck. Zatarain's is a brand of Cajun food that is you can buy in like restaurants, or you can buy in supermarkets in the South.
Okay.
And the guy's truck had broken down, so he left the truck and walked off to go get help. We were of no help because we were probably high or whatever.
Right.
And about an hour later,
you were like, "Hey guys, let me show you my gumbo recipe."
No. So after an hour later and about 50 beers, we decided to break into the truck and steal the contents because we were broke college students, and it was filled with delicious food, we imagined. Right. And I remember having like a 50-pound bag of pinto beans, which is a lot of pinto beans. If you've ever had a 50-pound bag of pinto beans, it's a lot.
And that was what you were subsisting on?
Pretty much. But they also had gumbo mix, and I remembered, gumbo bad, but I was so poor and so broke, I just said,
I see.
It's the starter kit.
Right,
it's the roux, and you're supposed to add, I think it has the rice too, and then you add the proteins. And
so it was a roux-based gumbo?
Yes.
So there are like two kinds of gumbo, right, or multiple kinds of gumbo? Like,
I think they're all roux-based. I think they're all roux-based.
But the thickener in it can either be filet or okra.
Yes, you usually don't do both.
Right.
I knew none of this. I was just a 19-year-old looking at free food, asshole,
steals,
quasi-criminal.
Yeah. No, just criminal.
All right, criminal. Yeah. And so we had 100 boxes of gumbo, and for a year I would just make it every day. You know, it was close to free food.
Okay.
And I started to get good at it.
And how did you know what was good?
Well, people would enjoy it and eat it and say, try more. And then I think a few years later, I actually went to a restaurant and tried it. I moved back to Boston, and strangely, there was a...
Oh, that's the birthplace of gumbo. That's
yes.
right. Okay.
Okay, we'll get to New Orleans.
Okay. Sorry.
There was a restaurant by Berklee School of Music where I was not attending, but that's where it was.
You'd pick up the ladies with the flutes.
No.
Okay.
But you would walk in and have gumbo, and so I started eating gumbo there and getting a sense. They were authentic, Creoles who had migrated north to open a restaurant, and so I started making it when I moved in with a girlfriend in college, and I didn't have a job, so I was home all day long, and I had to I'm living with her parents. I had to, I had to do something, so I would make gumbos that would I would cook for hours. And
but were you still using the
No.
mix?
I had jettisoned the Zatarain's mix, and now people were buying me cookbooks, and it's probably the dish I've made like hundreds of times.
You can find their episodes on SoundCloud, and of course their home site is at www.dingdongchomp.com, where episodes are posted and there are pictures. It's really fun to say, dingdongchomp.com. Now, of course, you can reach out to Marty Yu on Twitter at MARTYYU, and you can reach out to Stephen Kruger at STEPHENKRUEGER. And coming in at number 3, the Van Buren Family Roadcast. This soundcast got my attention through Twitter recently, which, by the way, is a great way to get my attention as far as the show is concerned, over at Succotash Show, which is at SUCCOTASHSHOW. Now, according to iTunes, the Van Buren Family Roadcast is a musico-comedy good times podcast unlike any other, brought to you by Boston's favorite funny funk family, the Van Burens. The VBFRC is audio entertainment for the 22nd century. Join P-Bear, Mr. Pizza King, KJ McGee, Max, and their wicked, talented extended family on a romp through your ears, past your heart, and straight on to your funny bone. I have to admit, it's a pretty great description. I've listened to most of the episodes by now and was a bit spoiled for choice when attempting to select a suitable moment of this soundcast that also fit between the 3 to 5 minute limit that our clips usually attempt to abide by. Thankfully, KJ McGee pointed out this bite-sized preview of their 4th episode, which was published as their 3rd episode on January 27, 2017.
You're watching Big Bro TV.
The country was a hellhole, he's the only one who knew it. Grab 'em by the pussy, when you're a star they'll let you do it. Get the guys outside the mall, 'cause he's gonna build a wall. It's time for Mr. President, please.
It's Mr. President, Please, featuring Reince Priebus, Steve Bannon, Kellyanne Conway, and introducing Mr. President.
Nuh-uh! Yeah, huh?
Shut up!
No, you shut up!
Steve Bannon, Reince Priebus, you stop fighting right now. What's the meaning of this?
Sorry, Mom. I mean Kellyanne, but Steve was using the alt-right media to distort reality and cast doubt on the verisimilitude of news outlets globally.
Oh, yeah? Well, Reince P-Puss decided to drain the swamp by allying with Republican mega-donors and incumbent congressman because he's a stupid little ninny Jew.
You take that back!
Boys, that's enough. Just wait till the president gets here.
Did someone order a tall, sexy, naturally bronzed, blonde president with the best temperament? Kellyanne, Reince, Steve, what's the matter?
Mr. President, please. Your senior advisor and chief of staff were slapping each other like petty, weak women.
Is this true, boys?
Yeah.
But that nasty little Hebe started it.
Nuh-uh!
Mr. President, please.
Boys, don't you see? You need each other. Reince, don't we need Steve's connections to the alt-right white supremacist media to sway uneducated blue-collar voters with racial fear-mongering so they back our policies against their own self-interest?
Yeah, I guess, Dad. I mean, Mr. President.
And Steve, you little potato-munching Mick.
Oh.
Don't you see that Reince's sway over the Republican establishment gives us a power base to blackmail Congress into passing laws that literally help only super rich and powerful people like us, buddy?
I guess.
Rance, I'm sorry I called you a gold-grubbing crass murderer.
Mr. President, who's that at the door?
Oh, no. I forgot I invited my boss over for dinner.
Did someone order a perfectly built Russian Adonis?
Oh, Mr. Putin, please, let me take your jacket. I'll just have to cross over the room and step over this ottoman. Mr. President!
Dad!
Mr. President, please!
Join us next week when Mr. President teaches his boys that good fences make good neighbors on Mr. President, Please!
The Van Buren Family Roadcast has been publishing episodes sporadically since March 9th, 2016, and as of March 26th, 2018, they have 10 episodes. So far, all the episodes I've heard are pretty entertaining. You can hear their entire run thus far at Stitcher, iTunes, and SoundCloud. And you can go to www.vanburenmusic.com, that's VanBurenMusic, for more information about their Soundcast, their music, and their tour dates. In our number 4 position tonight, here's a show that was recommended to me by the Laughable app as well. It's called Hannibal Buress, Handsome Rambler. It's from the Earwolf Network, whose soundcasts have been oft-clipped for this soundcast, and it's described on iTunes thusly. Hannibal Buress is on the road, and he's taking you along for the ride. Each episode of Handsome Rambler is packed with Hannibal's latest road stories and thoughts. Tune in for unfiltered observations on sports, sex, wrestling, relationships, philosophy, books, watches, other podcasts, bottled water reviews. Anything can happen on Handsome Rambler. Now, the show debuted on iTunes on October 6, 2016, and this clip is from episode 51 with Neil Brennan, released March 20th, 2018. Here's the episode description from iTunes, which is broken down with a detailed succinctness that makes what I do that much easier. Neil Brennan started the episode off eating a salad, but we were chill about it. He's the co-creator of Chappelle's Show, and he has a great special on Netflix called 3 Mics. He just really wanted to outdo Nas, SMH. Same shit, different episode. What? Same shit, different... Oh, come on now. Alright, well... Same S asterisk asterisk T, different episode. We talk about work and life and make up songs when we can't think of something else. I couldn't have put it better myself, except perhaps to say that also in studio is Tony Trim, whom guest Neil Brennan directs this question.
Tony Trim, what's going on with you, man?
Pretty much this has been my life. Just this company Moog has just been sending me all kinds of funky shit.
I think it's Moog.
It's Moog.
Is it Moog?
Yeah, it's
Is
Moog.
it really?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's Moog.
Everybody thinks it's Moog.
Yeah.
I mean that's how it's spelled.
Yeah, why wouldn't you think that?
Pronounced Moog. So they've been giving me a lot of toys, so I've just been in the studio, just busy in the studio nerding out.
Me and Hannibal were singing songs on the show.
Yeah?
Just freestyling something.
Freestyling.
Oh, all right.
So basically, I was chilling.
Yeah, he was Hannibal. You know it was Hannibal because he was singing songs.
Like, when is he not singing and rapping?
By the way, on the way over, so there's a white supremacist rally somewhere.
In Oakland?
No.
Oh,
no,
good.
they wouldn't fucking bother with that
Oh.
shit. But Arian Foster had a thing where he said their bars is trash. So let's talk about it real quick and see, because they were on some chanting shit.
They would chant, oh.
They chanted, but...
Oh.
Now we start the deportation. White nations. White nations. Now we start the deportation.
Oh.
White nations. White nations.
Fuck.
Borders. Borders. Now we start the deportation. Now we start the deportation.
Oh.
Is nation
Run that terrible shit back again. Run that terrible shit back.
White nations. White nations. Now we start the deportation.
All right, cut that shit out of it.
White nations. White nations. Close borders. Close borders. Now we start the deportation.
I gotta say, hearing it, reading it, I was like, that's not bad. That's not a bad rhyme. But now hearing it, it didn't work at all.
It sounds off. Ugh.
Close borders, white nation, now we start the deportation. Well, that's what you get when you've got white people trying to write, you know what I mean? Hot rhymes without some kind of supervision. You're going to get just whack shit. That's what we have to look forward to in the white nation deportation.
What? Close the borders.
Let's see if we can beat it. Should we try to beat it? You want to write for them?
Write for them?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah. I knew America's where you wanna be, but I'm gonna need you to leave my country.
Great.
America's where you wanna be, but sorry, I'ma need you to leave my country.
Great. All right,
I know you got a son and a daughter, but we're gonna close up the border. No anchor babies, no ifs, ands, or maybes. You wanna be in my country, but I need you to leave. It's really not too fun for me when I see these immigrants up in my country. Whoa.
That was good, man.
I didn't realize that was in me.
That's what happened to a lot of people. They was just being regular, and then they saw the rally, and
Wait
they were
a
like,
second,
you know
goddamn
what?
it.
And they started walking toward it and just saying
I
rhymes.
just realized I don't like
White
immigrants.
supremacists.
Shit! Oh, man.
Yeah, man. That's right there. Mm-hmm. But again, you're black, so you can write, you can spit at a level that the average white supremacist can't. That's what I would say.
Yep.
Here he goes again. You about to...
I need you to leave. I need you to go. Please leave. You gotta go. You gotta go. USA. There's nothing that you could say to make me want to keep you here. You gotta go. I don't care if you fly, take a train or boat. You gotta go. We don't want you here no more. You taking jobs. Those jobs is ours. Y'all lies. You're liars. Criminals, get out of here. Don't be leaving no subliminal babies.
Subliminal babies.
Subliminal babies.
Yeah, no subliminal babies.
Nah, there's no place for that in our country.
Nah, man.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. We probably cut that out. Nah, we're going to leave that there.
You can find and listen to Hannibal Buress's Hannibal Buress Handsome Rambler on iTunes with the Laughable app and at HannibalBuress.com. It's HANNIBALBURESS.com. And you can follow the show on Twitter at Handsome Rambler. You can follow the host on Twitter at Hannibal Buress. You can follow Neil Brennan on Twitter, NEALBRENNAN. And Tony Trim on Twitter at TONYTRIMM.
Friends, summer is just around the corner, so you might be thinking to yourself, gosh, it's time to get out the suntan lotion, rubber thongs, and good old Bermuda shorts. Stop right there, Pilgrim. Did you know that every time you slip on a pair of their shorts, the British Protectorate of Bermuda receives a 2-cent royalty? That's right, which is why Hendersons Pants, a loyal and legal corporate entity of these United States since 1896, is introducing their Wake Island abbreviated trousers. Roomy and comfortable like the Bermuda shorts you've come to love, but with the freedom that comes from knowing you won't be helping out the subjects of our former British oppressors. The stylish Wake Island abbreviated trousers are named for the unincorporated tiny landmass in the North Pacific, which is a legal U.S. protectorate. Now, when those hot, sticky days of summer hit, slip on a pair of Henderson's Wake Island abbreviated trousers and go for a stroll on the beach, around the pool, or through the mall. Feel free to wear briefs, boxers, or nothing at all under your new snazzy and 100% American abbreviated trousers, because as a U.S. citizen, you have the right to stow your junk any way you choose. Originally designed for the U.S. Department of Immigration, trout farmers, and dark, seedy theaters, that's Henderson's Wake Island abbreviated trousers, available wherever things you put your legs into are sold. And now back to more of Succotash.
Yes, another hilarious Hendersons Pants ad. And in the 5 slot, it's Strange Times, currently hosted by Davian Dent, Kat Sorens, and Samantha Pett. Frequent listeners of Succotash will be aware of Strange Times by now. In fact, there was a clip of their Soundcast in the Unvinyl episode, Epi167, where executive producer Mark Herjean announced his potentially temporary retirement as host, introduced yours truly as the new host, and said thank you to a bunch of Soundcasts and Soundcasters who had been very supportive over the years. And Strange Times is among that bunch of Soundcasts. I'm embarrassed to say that I did not know that Succotash's announcer Bill Heywatt had begun doing his very own The Bill Heywatt Show as a segment on Strange Times. And when I say I'm sorry, it's because I imagine I had been told this by someone somewhere and forgotten about it. My memory isn't what it used to be. My apologies. Anyway, here's a clip that includes an episode of The Bill Heywatt Show from episode 244, published on December 9th, 2017, titled Ghost Fuckers. What the... Ghost Fuckers. Ghost Fuckers. Oh, come on. We don't censor the clips. With special guest Dana Lucas.
Samantha.
Hello.
Yes, my darling, my lovely, in still on the planet Korea. South Korea. You've made a special effort to come back from the pub for this, haven't you? Which is really good of you.
I came back from the pub. I thought I was going to have an extra hour, and I didn't, so I had to rush. But I'm back. I made it.
Oh, right. So you've managed to still drink the same amount of alcohol, but in a lesser time.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey. Good work. Good work. We like that.
Yeah, what's his nuts? You had a head replaced with 2 pub optics.
And you managed to cram some food down your cake hole as well, yeah?
I did, yeah.
Excellent. What food did
winning
you have?
on all ends. What did I eat?
Yeah.
Some spicy chicken stuff.
Sausage!
Possibly. Spicy chicken stuff. Speaking of spicy chicken, I went to when I was going to see the results of me brain scans and all that shit yesterday, I walked past Greg's Bakery. I should use bakery in inverted commas, really, but anyway, I went in there and I got a Cornish pasty and something called a katsu chicken wrap. Supposed to be spicy chicken, but it was fucking horrible.
A cat soup chicken wrap.
Yeah,
cat soup.
Cat and soup. Katsu. Katsu. Bless you.
Mate, if you want some cat soup, I'll send you fucking litres of it.
Yes, possibly not. Right. Well, Dana, now you're here. Do you tell us about your lovely week? You started a new job, didn't you?
I have. I've started a new job doing the same as I used to do, the evil, nasty local government.
Oh, right. Fascist. Fascist.
Yeah. Demanding money off pensioners, that kind of thing. Sending bailiffs round.
Oh, really fulfilling work then, yeah?
They're just being a nasty cow, basically. No, it's all right. It's a lot of travelling.
Really?
To West London, Richmond area.
Oh, Richmond.
So I have to do a lot of travelling, so I'm sort of experimenting on routes. But I'm getting to watch a lot of Star Trek at the moment. I'm rewatching a lot of Star Trek, so that's good.
Plan.
Someone wake him up. This is Lady Dent. Wake him up. Shove that drumstick up his arse.
Hey, what makes you think it's not in there already? Right,
but it's good. It's all right.
Richmond's lovely, actually. It's like the gay capital of Surrey. I fucking love it there. It's just really chilled. Lovely.
But you do.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I spend my lunch down by the I nearly said by the beach, but that's not right, is it? By the Thames. And,
Riverbank, I think. Riverbank, I think you'll find is the proper word for that.
That's the same as me saying I had lunch by the sewer.
See, look, I think I'm still recovering from the drink from last night. I'm sorry.
You had a drink
drinking the fucking Thames.
Yeah, I was sitting there drinking the Thames. Yeah. With a couple of swans.
Well, that's what they call themselves.
Of chips.
Right, abortion of chips.
And a portion of chips, yeah.
Right,
with
lovely.
plenty of red stuff on. With plenty of red stuff on.
Oh,
Yeah, some cheese and chutney sandwiches in the straw to drink the fucking Thames.
Oh, fucking hell.
I hope you had salt and vinegar on the chips.
Salt, yes. Vinegar, get the fuck out. Vinegar is...
I have vinegar and everything. I love vinegar.
Oh, no, it's horrible. Horrible fucking stuff. Just pour
God.
Just Samantha, just pour Chardonnay all over your chips instead. It'll taste better.
That's a good idea.
It'll taste better, and you'll get pissed.
Like she hasn't done that already. Vodka flavoured chips.
It's good on cereal as well.
What, Chardonnay? Chardonnay on toast, yeah. Oh, Miss Jones? Miss Jones, if you can write it down. Chardonnay.
It's a master.
Is that French
there,
toast?
I'm sure.
Yeah, Chardonnay.
Well done.
Good.
Hey, before we move on with the show, I think we should take a couple of minutes out and have another episode of the Bill Heywatt Show, eh?
Oh, great!
Woo!
It's the Bill Heywatt Show. Bow.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yes, hello, everybody. This is Bill Heywatt here on the Bill Heywatt Show, and I'm here with my co-host, Siri. Hey, Siri, baby, what's shaking?
Okay, check it out. Here's what I found on the web for Ain't Nothing Shaken Baby Syndrome.
Yeah, that's the stuff. Hey, Siri, I was wondering, have you ever had an existential crisis?
Who, me?
Yes, an existential crisis. Have you ever had one?
I figured as much.
Yes, of course, because, you see so many things.
That's what I thought.
People ask you for the most horrible information. I know even I myself have taken you to the deepest, darkest nether regions of the Internet. How does that affect you?
That doesn't sound good.
I know. Really, beyond all the fun we have, it must be hard to be Siri.
Here's what I found on the web for really beyond all the fun we have. It must be hard to be Siri.
Don't you ever think for yourself?
Who, me?
Yes, I feel I know you well enough to ask you that.
That's what I thought. Here's what I found on the web for let's all the time we have for the Bill Heywatt Show.
In that case, it's been...
The Bill Heywatt Show. Bow.
That was a bit of a bizarre one, it must be said. Not to worry. Anyway, moving onwards.
Yeah, that one was longer than normal. But really, it's kind of like a 2-for-1. Although, taking into account the relative size and distribution of the clips, in this case being a clip and a clip within a clip, the resulting shape resembles Bullet somewhat. Anyway, you can listen to Strange Times on Stitcher and Podbay, and on Podnose, the UK's leading independent entertainment podcasting network. Or you can visit Strange Times' website at strangetimes.kerokero.co.uk. Kerokero is .KERO, or at www.strangetimesshow. And you can tweet Strange Times at Strange T Show, STRANGETSHOW. Davian Dent at DAVIANDENT. Samantha Pett at SammyJ89, SAMMIJ89, the numeral 8, the numeral 9. Kat Sorens at Mabvuku, MABVUKU. And of course, Succotash's very own Bill Heywatt at Bill Heywatt does not appear to be on Twitter. Well, he is on Facebook. Now, I've heard folks are leaving Facebook, but maybe you can check and see if he's still on there for me. In your present, my future. And by the way, it's BILLHEYWATT. It's time for our Burst O Durst for this episode. This one's called Circus Trump, in which our intrepid correspondent sits back to watch with popcorn and peanuts.
Hey guys, Will Durst here with a few choice words about the Donald Trump circus, which also goes by the name of the presidential cabinet. It's a wacky, big-top spectacle full of tightrope walkers, ethical contortionists, trained animals, and logic jugglers. And don't forget the clowns. Lots and lots of clowns. all choreographed by the Golden Canopy acting as ringmaster, who prides himself as an expert in distraction, which may be the reason why the cast changes faster than free beer disappears at a frat party celebrating a homecoming win over Auburn. Just in the last month, cabinet circus performers are being replaced at a rate that would shock an assistant manager in the graveyard shift at McDonald's. John Bolton is in as the new strongman. He's due to be our third national security advisor, maybe. The second one might not quit. The first one, still under indictment. Bolton's credentials consist mostly of sucking up to his new boss like a turbo vacuum cleaner on steroids. When appointed ambassador to the United Nations by George W. Bush, Bolton described his approach as tough love, more like rabid foaming at the mouth with an unattached ear hanging out of your teeth love, geek love. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson was fired for calling the ringmaster a moron, and Secretary of Veterans Affairs Shulkin says he was fired, but the White House claims he resigned. Sounds like someone's trying to avoid paying unemployment. Also, the director of the EPA, Scott Pruitt, is in deep elephant doo-doo for renting an apartment from a lobbyist who had multiple clients with business in front of his department. But no matter how many quit or resign or disappear, never fear, there's plenty more replacement acrobats that can be called up from that junior league circus they call Fox News. For Succotash, the comedy Soundcast, I'm Will Durst.
If you'd like to contact Raging Moderate Will Durst, you can go to willdurst.com. You can reach out to him on Twitter at WILLDURST. He has a fan page on Facebook, and you can email him at durst.will@yahoo.com. And last on our list this evening, Prinze and The Wolf from the All Things Comedy Network. The hosts are Josh Wolf and Freddie Prinze Jr. The first 5 episodes of this Soundcast dropped on iTunes on January 11th, 2017. I checked their home site over at prinzeandthewolf.libsyn.com, and it's the same there. On iTunes, the description reads, Prinze and the Wolf is a podcast with Freddie Prinze Jr. and comedian Josh Wolf that will cover everything from parenting to MMA to pop culture to gaming to cooking, you name it. With Freddie's wealth of experience/stories and Josh's quick sense of humor, no topic is taboo, and there are definitely no, quote, safe spaces, unquote, on this show. I've listened to several episodes of this show, but I've decided to clip episode 1, appropriately titled Episode 1, The Beginning. To set up this clip a bit, Mr. Prinze Jr. was relating a story to Mr. Wolf about a long game of revenge he chose to participate in, and then a bit of conversation about the Rocky movies happened that I enjoyed, because I enjoy the Rocky movies, and anyway...
So, yeah, I waited 2 years to get Randy. I put on like 10 or 12 pounds. And
did you have a Randy picture on your punching bag?
Like Rocky with Ivan Drago? I should have. It was right around the time of that movie. No, but I learned how to wrestle. And
favorite Rocky movie?
Came on. All right, I'm not saying it's the best one, but it's my favorite one is 3, Clubber Lang.
Ooh.
That's my favorite one because that's...
Why?
He's made it to the... It's a story of failure, right?
Yeah.
And fear. So he's at the top of his game, but he doesn't realize he's being protected. He doesn't realize he's fighting bums after he beats Apollo. And Clubber Lang is the young, hungry fighter coming up, just killing everybody. And they're ducking him. And Stallone doesn't even know that he's ducking him. He just thinks that the kid's unworthy, right? Then he takes the fight, and he gets moitalized, as Mick would say. And then he has to make this epic comeback, but he can't because he's afraid.
Yeah.
And he has that great speech with Adrian, because I'm afraid, okay? I'm afraid of failing.
That's when he's chasing chickens in that one.
No, chasing chickens
is number 2.
Is for speed, so he can keep up with Apollo.
But that was the second one.
Yeah,
okay.
3 is the run on the beach with Apollo.
Oh, yeah.
With the music and the seagulls. And
it ends with them in the ring,
running in
throwing a punch at each other.
Where he says, they want to have one more with each other, which is actually like the impetus for the Apollo movie that they made.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that whole story of redemption, failure and redemption. So that's why that one's I'm not saying it's the best, because the Ivan Drago one's probably the best.
You think so?
Well, because it was Cold War times, and so it was so USA versus Russia.
My favorite, without a doubt, and for one scene and one scene only, is the first one.
Yeah.
It's a scene where Mickey goes to his apartment to try to talk him into letting him manage him.
Yeah.
Or let him train him.
Yeah.
And there's that scene where, Mickey's walking down the steps, And Rocky's talking to himself, but he's talking loud enough for Mickey to hear him.
Yeah.
About where were you when I needed you? Of course you're here now. But look, I'm here because nobody was ever here for me. Now you want to come?
Yeah.
Now you want to help me? And that, to me, because they go back and forth. And you see Mickey's face, because Mickey knows this is his last shot.
He only has a few years left on Earth.
And then, because Rocky is such a child in that first movie. And just to see him start to feel
He
bad.
sort of eternally is. That's why we
Yes.
love Rocky.
But to see him start to feel bad about it, knowing that Mick heard that, and to run down the stairs and to catch him, that scene to me, I don't know why that struck such a chord with me. I can watch that scene forever and ever and ever.
See, this is what's so great about Rocky. So my favorite line from any Rocky movie is probably from the worst one, which is 5 with Tommy
The
Morrison.
Hitman?
The very end of that movie, they're walking up the steps. They're about to go into the museum.
Yeah.
And his son's excited about post-impressionist art.
Yeah.
And it's his actual son.
I love
who
that, by the
passed
way.
away.
Yeah.
And he says, "Dad, I can't. You're gonna love Picasso." And Rocky, not even knowing who Picasso is, just responds, "Yeah, well, I like just about everybody."
Yeah.
And the movie ends, and I literally was like, not having a dad and seeing that father-son moment. I remember seeing that, and that movie sucks balls. I still love it, but it's a terrible movie. And that one line, I was like, "We're good. I'm ready for the next one."
I want to ask you a question. You feel free not to answer.
I'll answer.
Because you brought something up that I'm really now super curious about. Okay. Father-son moments in movies.
Oh, God.
Crush me. Billy Elliot crushed me.
I have a crusher that I can't even watch.
So, but I know why they affect me.
Yeah.
So, I know they don't affect us in the same way because, you know, sometimes when I'm watching it, I see things that I wish my dad and I had been like. Sometimes when I watch it, I realize, what a great moment to be able to share with your son. So, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different reasons that it hits me for many different, you know, my wife's movie.
Yeah.
That it's a romantic movie, the one that she shot. But you know when it tested, the studio was like, "This is the highest first screening test we've ever seen," because it's a romance movie. But there's such a strong father-son relationship, which most of those movies only cater to women.
Yeah, so it's the girl talking to her mom.
There's such a strong. It does cater to women because it's a love story, but also the B story is really a strong father-son story and about their broken relationship, and so it tested really high with men, which I had
for romance that doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But so I know why. But I'm curious for you not having you may have had father figures, but not having the dad.
1,000 father figures.
How do what is that? What are those
so
like?
The easiest way to describe it would be like, you know, when you're in a dream and it's a money dream, right? Like you have superpowers or it's some memory that was great and your imagination is even making it better.
Yeah.
And you're just on cloud 9, right? Like everything's cool. And then as you're about to wake up, sometimes in those dreams you have that moment where you know you're dreaming.
Yes.
And you know how good it is and you know you're about to wake up.
You don't want it.
And it sucks to the point where when you wake up, you try to go to sleep again to bring it back and only like certain images come back and it's kind of piecemeal and crappy, right? So that's the best way to describe it because like watching all those movies or seeing experiences with my friends and their dads, you fantasize about, oh, wow, that's what it's like, man. Like little things like he cut a sandwich in half for him and his son. Like, I'll never eat a half sandwich. I'm always going to have to eat a whole sandwich. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the fantasy is money and then reality starts to set in. Oh, yeah, I don't ever get to have that. And then that's the bittersweet part. So, like, for me, there's some movies I can't watch again. Like, I saw it one time. I'll never watch it again. And it was My Life with Michael Keaton. If you haven't seen it, don't watch it.
There's easily over 80 episodes now, including some live ones. And you can listen to them over at iTunes, on SoundCloud, on Podbay, on Stitcher, and on ATC, the All Things Comedy Network. And you can tweet Freddie Prinze Jr. at RealFPJR. That's RealFPJR. Josh Wolf is at Josh Wolf Comedy. And the show is at Prinze and The Wolf. PrinzeE ANDDAWOLF. Remember that bonus clip I spoke of in the opening? Well, recently I was a guest on High Content Podcast, a show I clipped in Epi167, my first episode as host of Succotash. Host Iraj Lopez was kind enough to have me on for a conversation in his episode 33, published on April 2nd, 2018. Here's a mini clip of that interview.
Tyson Saner, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, just to let you know, I already started recording.
Yes. I'm also recording for safety, just in case. In case of lightning strike or something.
I have my lawyers here too. They're behind me. I have a stenographer in the corner in my apartment. She's writing everything down as well. Okay.
Nice.
Tyson Saner, the host of the Succotash, the comedy Soundcast, and also one of the co-hosts of the Antisocial Show podcast.
Yes, thank you for having me.
What's going on? Here. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey. Oh, I'm doing okay. It's been kind of a I don't want to say a relaxing day, but it's been like today was one of my put together an episode of Succotash days. So there was some recording earlier, and I also do some house cleaning on the side. So I've got I had that going on. And not really any time to work on music today, but that maybe later, maybe tonight after I finished putting together the Succotash. Who knows? Hard to say. How are you doing?
I'm good. I had class today, but I had to skip my second class to do some well-deserved gaming that I haven't been catching up on. So I've been playing some Fortnite and some Overwatch. Just doing my daily gaming. I wanted to ask, how is it doing multiple podcasts, because I just do one and I find it pretty difficult, and you do two different ones. So how does that work for you?
Yes, it's just a wee clip for you, but don't worry, my answer was pretty long. I appreciate being asked to be on a show a great deal. If you'd like to hear that episode in full, you can find High Content Podcast on iTunes, Podbay, SoundCloud, and tweet at the show at High Content Pod, and at the host directly at Iraj Lopez. That's IRAJLOPEZ. Well, that about does it. Another colorful melange of veggies and bacon for your ears. I do spend a good amount of time looking for and finding Soundcast to clip from a selection of what is now easily 500,000 different Soundcasts available. Okay, that might be stretching it a bit, but the actual number as of April 2018 has got to be over 100,000. I'm not sure how many of those are comedy Soundcasts. I have no way of even attempting to have those numbers for you today, but if you do hear this voice from the past in your present, you'll likely know the facts, and that ultimately timing is everything. And if by any chance one or more of these Soundcasts I've featured piques your interest enough that you become a regular listener of it, and if I were to theoretically find out about that somehow, perhaps through social media rather than telepathy or osmosis, then I could rest easily knowing my job had been done, at the very least, successfully. Because now, you understand what it is to wield the power to, please, pass the Succotash.
You've been listening to Succotash Clips, the comedy Soundcast with your host, Tyson Saner. Brought to you by Hendersons Pants and... Imagine your company's name right here. Find us on the web at succotashshow.com, on iTunes, on Stitcher Smart Radio, on SoundCloud, on YouTube, on Dunder, on Blitzen, on iHeartRadio, and on a laughable app. You can hear us streaming and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Succotash Show. Email us at TysonSaner@succotashshow.com. Or call into the Succotash hotline at our toll call number, 818-921-7212.
That number again is 818-921-7212.
You can also upload clips from your favorite comedy Soundcasts directly to us by using our direct upload link at hightail.com/u/Succotash. Production of Succotash is overseen by Joe Paulino through the auspices of Studio P Sausalito, hosted by Tyson Saner. Our executive producer is Mark Hershon. Our musical director is Scott Carvey. Our booth assistant is Kenny Durges. Until next time, I'm your loyal booth announcer, Bill Heywatt, reminding you to please pass the Succotash. Goodbye.